cozy book reading video. I got a few books from the bookstore today at Indigo, and I'm going to show you like the mini haul of the books I got. And I did get a mug and a bookmark as well, so I'll show you guys that. And then we will start one of the 3 books that I got. And yeah, it's gonna be just chill vibes, soft speaking. But yeah, let's get into it. So first I'll show you the bookmark since I have it here in front of me. It's super pretty. Butterflies. This is very much my vibe. If anyone who knows me, they would know this is my vibe. It says twist to remove. So let's see. Twist to remove. Okay. Am I stupid? Oh, okay. No. I just had to hold the other side. Come on. There we go. Is anybody else excited for fall? Or is that just me? Because honestly, fall is very much my vibe. I love fall. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy summer as well. But as you guys know by my ASMR channel, I love me a good hoodie. And fall is just the best time for that. I really like the sound of this bookmark. The tapping sounds really nice on it. But yeah, that's the bookmark I got. It was, how much did it cost? $4.99. Don't worry, I did not pay for any of it. This was all gifted to me. Because honestly, $5 for a bookmark is a little crazy. I don't know actually if it's that crazy, but anyways, next up, I want to show you the really cute mug I got, guys. It's super cute. The cashier that was checking me out was so sweet. She wrapped this up in tissue paper. So let's unwrap it. If I can figure out how she did this. Seems like she taped it up. I'm trying to be quiet because this kind of sound can get overstimulated quite quickly. Definitely taped up at the bottom. So I'm just going to try that one. To be honest, I feel like I didn't do that very quietly at all. But hopefully somebody found that nice. One more moment for the wrapping paper. No, that's way too loud. Let's get this out of here. I'm just gonna throw it for now. Just place it on the side. I'm gonna make some peppermint tea in a little bit, but look how freaking cute. I don't know how to cover this damn light, but look how cute. It has the spines of bugs. This one says the quiet autumn lane. The quiet autumn lane. And we also have under the harvest moon. And then we have pumpkin spice and cozy tales. And then we've got pumpkins and provisions. And then we've just got pages, and then it says, where the leaves fall, where the leaves fall. Meet me at the market, meet me at the market, meet me at the market. And then a leaf, a pumpkin, a mushroom. And then we've got here, among the golden leaves. Among the golden leaves. I don't know how to stop this flare back, but just allow it. And then the last one is the little pumpkin patch, but it's super cute. Let's try to get this the price sticker off at the bottom. It's dishwasher safe, which is nice. Oh, it's kind of cleaning off my mic from the last time I used it, when I used the makeup brushes. I'm too scared to clean it with water because I don't want to ruin it. This sounds really cool. Hold on, let me switch 1 second. Okay. Okay, that's enough of that. I just thought it sounded really cool, so I kind of wanted to try it from like ear to ear kind of situations. There we are. Okay, now for the books. So, the first one we have is called Two Dead Wives by Adele Parks. So I'll read the back of the book, of the cover, to see which one's going to entice me right now, okay? for the super rich, but hell for the girls whose lives they've stolen. This is what the back looks like, by the way. It's paradise for those super rich, but hell for the girls whose lives they've stolen. 1985. 12-year-old Mercedes La Castanala is a home, an island with deep-rooted traditions untouched by the modern world. But this secluded paradise is upended when the arrival of multimillionaire Matthew Mead and his pampered young daughter, Tatiana. While the Meads lavishly spread unimaginable wealth around La Castellana, I cannot pronounce that, you guys. La Castellana, that's what I'm going to say. The price Mercedes and the rest of the islanders will pay is more than they could ever have imagined. And then it says 2016. Robin has been desperately searching for her 17-year-old daughter, Gemma, who's been missing for more than a year. Finding herself on La Castellana, an island playground for the international jet set, Robin quickly realizes she's out of her depth. No one is willing to help, and Robin fears she's running out of time to find her child. Someone has been watching, silently, waiting for the moment to expose the dark truth of what really happens on the island of lost girls. Dun, 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 dun. This one also sounds really good. So again, this is The Island of Lost Girls by Alex Marwood. And then the final book that we've got is Mr. and Mrs. Wedge by Gwenda Bond. This is the cover page. This is what it looks like. Savannah Wilde is a witch, a very powerful one, an identity that only her fellow witches know. Following a whirlwind romance that surprised herself and her family, Savvy is all set to marry the love of her life, but she isn't the only one with a secret that needs to be kept, even from her soon-to-be husband. Griffin Carter is a top agent for a clandestine organization that, used to primarily hunt witches, but now mainly tries to shut down supernatural threats their own way. On his wedding day, he can't wait to lay his eyes on the woman he's about to spend the rest of his life with. As Savvy walks down the aisle to Griffin, the wedding quickly goes from blessed date to shit show when their true identities are revealed. To say there's bad blood between their factions is putting it mildly. Savvy and Griffin are each tasked to take the other out, but when they discover a secret that could take down both of their agencies, they realize the only way to survive is to team up. With assassins hot on their trail, will Savvy and Griffin make it out alive to try again at I Do? This also sounds pretty good. This is more of like a guilty pleasure read. Well, to be honest, like all the books that I read are just like, it's typically romance or mystery, sometimes horror as well. But yeah, for the most part, it's mystery and romance. Those are my favorite kind of books, and then fantasy as well. But yeah, so out of the three, which one do we think? I know you guys can't give me your input, so I will just have to choose. Let's see. Should I just do eeny, meeny, miny, moe? I might just do that, honestly, because I can't decide. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Okay. The one that's been picked is Tuded Wives by Adele Parks. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay, so I just switched up the angle a bit just because I wanted to be a bit more comfortable while I was reading. But let's get into it. Chapter 1. D.C. Clemens. There is no body. A fact, D.C. Clemens finds both a problem and a tantalizing possibility. She's not a woman inclined to irrational hope, or even excessive hope. Any damned hope. Really. At least, not usually. Kylie Gillingham is probably dead. The 43-year-old woman has been missing nearly 2 weeks. 97% of the 180,000 people a year who are reported missing are found within a week, dead or alive. She hasn't been spotted by members of the public or picked up on CCTV. Her bank, phone, and email accounts haven't been touched. She has social media registered under her married name, Kai Jansen. They've lain dormant. No perky pictures of carefully arranged books, lattes, Negronis, or peonies. Kylie Gillingham hasn't returned to either of her homes. Statistically, it's looking very bad. Experience would also suggest this sort of situation to end terribly. When a wife disappears, all eyes turn on the husband. In this case, there is not one, but 2 raging husbands left behind. Both men once loved the missing woman very much. Love is just a shiver away from hate. The evidence does not conclusively indicate murder. There is no body, but a violent abduction is a reasonable proposition. Police speak, disciplined by protocol. Kidnap and abuse, possible torture is likely. Women speak, fired by indignation. They know Kylie Gillingham was kept in a room in an uninhabited apartment just floors below the one she lived in with husband number 2, Dan Jansen. That's not a coincidence. There is a hole in the wall of that room. Most likely Kyle punched or kicked it. The debris created was flung through a window into the street, probably in order to attract attention. Her efforts failed. Fingerprints place her in the room. It's unlikely she was simply hanging out or even hiding out, as there is evidence to suggest she was chained to the radiator. Yet despite all this, the usually clear, logical, reasonable Clements wants to ignore statistics, experience, and even evidence that suggests the abduction ended in fatal violence. She wants to hope. There just might be some way, somehow, that Kylie, enigma bigamist, escaped from the sordid room and is alive. She might be in hiding. She's technically a criminal, after all. She might be hiding from the law. She can hardly go home. She will know by now that her life's duplicity is exposed. She will know her husbands are incensed. I cannot see you guys, and that's why I keep messing up when I read. And it also feels like kind of pressure to not mess up. I will do my best. I'm very sorry. Where was I? I cannot find where it was. Yeah, despite all this, no. Baying for blood. She has 3 largely uninterested half-brothers on her father's side, and a mother who lives in Australia. None of them give Clements a sense that they are helping or protecting Kylie. She will know who abducted her. If alive, she must be terrified. Clements' junior partner, Constable Tanner, burly and blunt as usual, scoffs at the idea that she escaped. He's waiting for a body. He'd settle for a confession. It's been 4 days now since Dan Jansen left the country. Skipped justice, as Tanner insists on saying. But the constable is wet behind the ears. He still thinks murder is glamorous and a career-enhancing. Clemens tries to remember. Did she ever think that way? She's been a police officer for nearly 15 years. She joined the force straight out of university, a few years younger than Tanner is now. But no, she can't remember a time when she thought murder was glamorous. He hasn't skipped justice. We're talking to him and his lawyers. She points out with what feels like the last bit of her top patience. You're being pedantic. I'm being accurate. But you're talking to him through bloody Microsoft Teams, says Tanner dismissively. What the hell is that? The future. Clement sighs. She ought to be offended by the uppity tone of the junior police officer. It's disrespectful. She's the detective constable. She would be offended if she had that energy. But she doesn't have any despair. It's all focused on the case, on Kylie Gillingham. She needs to remain clear-sighted, analytical. They need to examine the facts, the evidence, over and over again. To be fair, Constable Tanner is focused too, but his focus manifests in frantic frustration. This author clearly loves alliteration. That's what I'm gathering from this book. Manifests in frenetic frustration. She tries to keep him on track. Look, lockdown means Dan Jansen isn't coming back to the UK for questioning anytime soon. Even if there wasn't a strange new world to negotiate, we couldn't force him to come to us, not without arresting him, and I can't do that yet. Tanner knocks his knuckles against her desk as though he is rapping on a door, asking to be let in, demanding attention. But all the evidence is circumstantial. Tanner knows this. He just can't quite accept it. He feels the finish line is in sight, but he can't cross it, and it frustrates him, disappoints him. He wants the world to be clear-cut. He wants crimes to be punished, bad men behind bars, a safer realm. He doesn't want some posh twat flashing his passport and wallet, hopping on a plane to his family mansion in the Netherlands and getting away with it. Dan Jansen's. Dan Jansen's good looks and air of entitlement offended Tanner. Clemens understands all that. She understands it, but has never allowed personal bias and preferences to cloud her investigating procedures. We found her phones in his flat. Tanner insists. Kylie could have put them there herself. Counters Clemens. She did live there with him as his wife. And we found the receipt for the cable ties and bucket from the room she was held in. We found a receipt. The annual number of cable ties produced is about 100 billion. A lot of people buy cable ties. Very few of them to bind their wives to radiators. Jansen might have wanted to neaten up his computer and charger cords. He lives in a minimalist house. That's what any lawyer worth their salt will argue. Clemens rolls her eyes from left to right, left to right, left to right. Her neck clicks the castanets. His fingerprints are on the food packets, which means he touched those protein bars. That's all they prove. Not that he took them into the room, not that he was ever in the room. Exasperated, Tanner demands, well, how else did he get there? They didn't fly in through the bloody window, did they? Clemens understands he's not just excitable, he cares. He wants this resolved. She likes him for it. Even if he's clumsy in his declarations, it makes her want to soothe him, offer him guarantees and reassurances that she doesn't believe in. She doesn't soothe or reassure because she has to stay professional, focused. The devil is in the details, she said. She just has to stay sharp, be smarter than the criminal. That's what she believes. She might have brought them in from their home. He might have touched them in their flat. That's what a lawyer will argue. He did it all right. No doubt about it, asserts Tanner with a steely certainty. Clemens knows that there is always doubt, a flicker like a wick almost lit, then instantly snuffed. Nothing is certain in this world. That's why people like her are so important. People who know about ambiguity, yet carry on regardless. Carry on asking questions, finding answers. Dig, push, probe. That is her job for a conviction to be secured in a court of law. Things must be proven beyond reasonable doubt. It isn't easy to do. Barristers are brilliant, willy. Jurors can be insecure, overwhelmed. Defendants might lie, cheat. The evidence so far is essentially fragile and hypothetical. I said, didn't I? Right at the beginning, I said it's always the husband that's done it. Tanner continues excitedly. He did say as much, yes. However, he was talking about husband number one, Mark Fletcher at that point, if Clement's memory serves her correctly, which it always does. And even if her memory one day fails to be the reliable machine that it currently is, she takes notes, meticulous notes, so she always has to rely on. She always has those to rely on. Yes, Tanner said it was the husband, but this case has been about which husband? Dan Jansen, married to Kai, dedicated daughter to a sick mother, classy dresser and sexy wife, or Mark Fletcher, husband to Leigh, devoted stepmother, conscientious management consultant and happy wife. Kylie Gillingham, the bigamist, and had been hiding in plain sight, but now she is gone, vanished. The case against Jansen is gathering momentum, says Clemens carefully, because she was held captive in his apartment block. Yes, which is right on the river. Easy way to lose a body. She winces at this thought, but stays on track. Obviously, Mark Fletcher has motive too. A good lawyer trying to cast doubt on Jansen's guilt might argue that Fletcher knew about the other husband and followed his wife to her second home. Tanner is bright, fast. He chases her line of thought. He knows the way defense lawyers create murky waters. Fletcher could have confronted her somewhere in the apartment block. A violent moment of fury, adds Clements. He knocks her out cold, then finds an uninhabited apartment and impetuously stashes her there. Tanner is determined to stick to his theory that Jansen is the guilty man. Sounds far-fetched. How did he break in? This thing seems more planned. I agree. But the point is, either husband could have discovered the infidelity, then furious, humiliated, and ruthless, imprisoned her. They'd have wanted to scare and punish, reassert control, show her who was boss. They know this much, but they do not know what happened next. Was she killed in that room? If so, where's the body headed? And you know, we can't limit this investigation to just the two husbands. There are other suspects, she adds. Tanner flops into his chair, holds up a hand, and starts to count off the suspects on his fingers. Ollie, her teen stepson, he has the body and strength of a man. Clemens finishes his thought, but the emotions and irrationality of a child. He didn't know his stepmom was a bigamist, but he did know she was having an affair. It's possible he did something rash, something extreme that is hard to come back from. Then there's the creepy concierge in the swanky apartment block, Alfonso. Yeah, he might be our culprit. Clemens considers it. He has access to all the flats, the backstairs, and the CCTV. He's already admitted that he deleted the CCTV from the day she was abducted. He said that footage isn't kept more than 24 hours unless an incident of some kind is reported. Apparently, the residence insists on this for privacy. It must be true. It might just be convenient. Clemens nods, and then there's Fiona Phillipson, the best friend. Bloody hell. You know, sorry guys, hold on. If I'd realized earlier, I don't know if I read it on the back and just didn't realize, but since it's taking place in the UK, if I wanted to do a British accent, but at the same time, I think that's just too cringe. I think I'll keep okay, bloody hell. We have more suspects than an Agatha Christie novel, says Tanner with a laugh that is designed to hide how overwhelmed and irritated he feels. His nose squashed up against shadowy injustice, cruel violence, and deception. Right. I still think the husband did it. Which one? Crap. Round and round in circles we go. He scratches his head aggressively. Do you want me to order in pizza? It's gonna be a long night. Is anyone still doing deliveries? I don't think they are. Points out Clemens. You know, lockdown. Crap, he says again, and then rallies. Crisps and chocolate from the vending machine, though? We'll need something to sustain us while we work out where Kylie is. Clemens smiles to herself. It's the first time in a long time that Tanner has referred to Kylie by name, not as her, or the bigamist, or worse, the body. It feels like an acceptance of a possibility that she might be somewhere other than dead and gone. Did she somehow, against the odds, escape? Is Kylie Gillingham, the woman who dared to defy convention, the woman who would not accept limits and laughed in the face of conformity, still out there, somehow just being? God, Clemens hopes so. That was chapter 1. And that was chapter 1. Should I keep going? You know what? If I had set up better, maybe. But I think I'll end it off there. Thank you so much for joining my video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment down below. Any video suggestions you might have. I might continue make this a series and keep reading the book with you guys. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a